You can sit with your favorite crossing. Observe what body you've brought to your practice today. Not always do the same props work on any given day. Sometimes you might need more height, some days you might be needing less height. But take the support that makes your knees even and your thighs at rest. Draw your shoulders back. Bring your mind away from things that happen before class or that have to happen after class. Look straight ahead. Draw the shoulders back. So your mind now is coming to your shoulders being drawn back and the lift of the sternum. Can you keep your mind on those two things? And then keeping that, join your palms. See that the trapezium gently glide down your back. And that sternum keeps lifting upwardly. Gaze just a little bit above eye level. Eyes soft, not really wanting to see anything. See that your head is in the right place, that it doesn't feel like it's looking out, seeking something that's outside the body, but instead seeking what's already within, which is that quietness that we all seek. Then soften the eyes completely as you close them. Begin to deepen both the inhalation and the exhalation. Gently, with each subsequent inhalation, make it a little bit longer on the inhalation. Smooth, soft inhalation. Smooth, soft exhalation. Still, those shoulders are back, the trapezium down, and the sternum lifted. We'll do the arms together. Oh. 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 Inhale, and on an exhalation, bow your head down towards your heart, towards this practice, towards one another. Release your hands and then slowly lift the head up and open the eyes. So it is forward extensions week. So there's this big push with the senior teachers and even some of the junior intermediate teachers on this idea of extension and expansion. So in forward extensions, if I go back to the old nomenclature of forward bending, some extension has to happen before there can be any expansion. And what happens in the forward extensions is the back body is really expanded, right? And that makes a big difference in the quality of our lives because of the location of the central nervous system, which is in our spinal column. So we want to keep that as healthy as possible. So we're going to do some forward extensions today. We're going to start with a very simple, the simplest of them all. Have Adho Mukha Virasana, but have some space. Let me ask you this, and you can just do a thumbs up. If I change this screen on my iPad to a gallery view, can you guys just still see me, or do you see everybody when I change it? Okay, great. So I want to be able to see you. So have it so that you can go immediately into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So my big toes are going to be together, and my knees are definitely wider than my hips. And I'm going to help the education of my thighs with my hands. I'm going to draw the skin on my hamstrings towards the buttock flesh. And I want to move that buttock flesh away from the buttock bone so I can feel that bone on my heel, right? And then I do it again on the other side. Move it back. And I feel the buttock bones on the heels. Okay, now don't be in a hurry to take your head down. Methodically start to go forward. In fact, go forward just enough that you can still feel pressure on your hands. Can you feel that? So if I go forward, I've lost pressure. So I'm here, I'm up, and now I want to get extension on the front of the trunk, so I get expansion on the back of the trunk. So I push into the floor and pull the shoulders back, the trapezium down, rotate that inner upper arm outside to in, and move that deepen really the armpit. I don't know if you can see that, but here's me not deepening my armpit. And my shoulders are riding up towards my ears. Here I'm deepening the armpit, pulling those shoulders down. Now the front of the trunk is absolutely extended. And I'm pushing on the floor to keep the hips down. Now I say, can I keep that action? Walk a little bit more forward. Scrub those fingers forward and press the heel of the hand down. Don't be in a hurry to take your head down. Fingers forward, heel of the hand down, elbows lifted, elbows never touch the floor. Keep extending the front of the trunk forward, and then eventually the head comes easily down. Lift the elbows, rotate that inner upper arm out, deepen the armpit still as you elongate the side trunk. Arms are working. You should almost feel a little bit of a tremble on that lazy tricep skin if you're working properly. Nice long side body, nice long front extension of the trunk, front of the trunk. Okay, now from here, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you'll come up and you definitely right away, you feel weight on your hands. Just walk your hands, maybe 2-3 inches forward where you can still feel weight on your hands. Tuck your toes well. Okay, now don't let your shoulders come forward. Go back. So see how I'm pushing back? I lift the knees. I keep pushing, push. I've got a nice elongated trunk. I move my shoulder blades in. I'm going to come have a look at you guys. Work the legs. It's not that the legs don't work. No work in the head and neck. Just let the head and neck go. Top of the thighs press back. Try to get the front hinge of that ankle deeper. So as you extend the back of the heel down towards the floor. Legs absolutely firm. Lift the hips slightly up and back so that that kidney band lengthens towards your tailbone. Good. Okay. All right, now inhale. So you're in your downward dog. Look up and walk your feet up, straight legged if you can, to where they are about 12, 14 inches away from the floor, hopefully on the floor, flat on the floor. So if you are the person who needs blocks, you take blocks, but the palms need to be flat. So it's either here, here, or here. But the idea here is a concave Uttanasana. So I want you to just get that for just a moment and then inhale and stand up. Have you got your spacing right? You know where your hands are going? Okay, take your feet and you can go wider as the people who know they need to go wider, either for any medical conditions and or just tight hamstrings. You can go wider. But if you don't need to go wider, be a little less than hip distance. It will make your hips stronger. Okay, extend the balls and the toes of your feet forward, the skin on your heels slightly backward, and press into the floor and make those hips where this indent. I'm sorry I have black on today, but this indentation of your hips, make that move in as you roll the front of the thighs in and broaden out the back of the thighs. Now, exhale, keep the legs, the hips nice and strong. Fold at the hip crease and place your hands flat on the floor for Concave Uttanasana. So what has to happen first is extension of the front body. Look forward. Imagine that you're slightly pulling your hands back, but the hands don't move. Look forward. Keep the kneecaps lifted, the thighs absolutely strong. Hips compact. Press your feet. Your feet are going to determine how well your legs work. Pull the shoulders back and make a really nice attempt to make the concave in your dorsal spine. Don't let the hips go back. All right, and then bring the hands to the hips and come up. So my point was, you've got to get the extension on the front body before the back body can have that expansion, that breadth, of that nice width on it. So we're going to go for Padagulpasana, which is, I guess it has something to do with the ankles, but we're going to hold on to the ankles now for concave. And then, if you want to watch first, if you're not sure you can do the full pose. But we're going to try to grab our ankles now. Okay, so from Tadasana, little bit feet apart, press and extend the balls and the toes forward, the heels back, compact those hips, roll the shoulders back, exhale, bend forward, and take a hold of your ankles with all your fingers. That includes your thumbs. Okay, now you have that good grip, and it's more or less that you're pulling. You're not letting the shins be pulled apart, but you have a good grip on the ankles, wrapping the whole hand around the ankles, including the thumb, and you're lengthening the trunk forward. Now, can you see my dorsal spine? It's not this. That's shortening of the front of the trunk. There's no extension on the front of the trunk. So I have a good grip here, and I extend the front of the trunk forward. Legs absolutely strong. Feet absolutely strong, pressing into the floor. Now, those of you, if you've got that nice extension on the front of the trunk, then you're bending the elbows out to the side, abdomen soft, and the head just releases down. Pull your trunk closer to your shins instead of your head. Pull your trunk closer to your shins instead of your head. Yeah, head is down. Don't let the thighs go back. Yeah. Can you find the effect on the dorsal when you pull the elbows out to the side? Can you feel that? You know, what yoga is teaching us is to be more sensitive, to feel things more. Can you feel that? That's a little better, Mike. Keep going in that direction. Just forget your head. Don't do anything with your head. Yeah, elbows wide, pull, because your legs are fine. There you are. Yes, now that hump in your back is starting to go away. Good. Uttanasana. All right, and now inhale, come to the concave, get maximum extension, and then bring the hands to the hips, and then inhale and stand up. Okay, now just observe your mind state. Remember, I think last week I said, you know, if you aren't sukha, then there's not going to be, you know, if you aren't, if you're not sukha's happiness, if you're not happy, there's not going to be any sthira. There's not going to be any stability. So you got to be comfortable in a pose. And that's why we do these kind of beginner poses to make the other poses come easier. We got to keep up with these beginner poses. All right, so that's Gopasana. You held on to your ankles. So now we'll hold on to the big toes, right? So the most important part of this is the concave part. So here I am. If you're not sure about what your feet are doing, you know, go down there, pick up your foot one by one, lengthen the ball, the toes forward. Then you come back here and it's like you're bifurcating your foot. And from the heel, it goes back and out. Stand up straight, Tadasana or Samastiti. Inhale, and then on your exhalation, bend down and take a ring grip of the two big toes. Now, some of you might just be staying in the concave, that's fine. So strongly press down into those two fingers, the index and the middle finger with that big toe. And that pressing down will activate the hips, right? The hips are strong. I extend the trunk forward, 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 getting rid of that dorsal spine hump. All right, you're doing really, really well. Everybody's doing really, really well. Okay. And now bend the elbows out to the side and pull your trunk. Don't just pull your head. Pull your abdomen, pull your chest closer to your legs. Keep the legs strong. Yeah, Marissa, you can go wider if you need to. Yeah. And now just let the head go, Mike. Elbows wide. Keep the abdomen soft. The abdomen almost kind of folds back into towards the spine a little bit. And the emphasis is in the dorsal. Yeah, that's better. Give a good pull. Pull, pull, pull. So you shouldn't feel that the neck has bunched up. The trapezium cannot bunch up towards the neck. Pull the elbows wide. Make the kneecaps pull up. Padangusthasana. So in the full pose, those elbows are pulling. And the trunk is in touch with the thighs. Pull. Spread the thighs inside out, the back of the thighs, the groins, spread them from inside out. And now come to the concave. Release the fingers, hands on the hips. Keep the legs strong. Come up with a straight back, not rounded. Samastiti. Roll the shoulders. We have one more. Padahastasana. Now, you know, this is really good for arthritic hands and fingers. So don't be, you know, too bashful. Sometimes, well, in my early days, I would often do this pose with another sticky mat on top. I don't do it anymore, but I'll show you. It's very nice and patty, right? So we're bending forward. Just bring the fingers out in front. Maximum extension on the front body. You feel the back body spreading. Okay, then one by one, the hand goes completely underneath the foot so that the the wrist bend is at the top of the toes. I don't know if you can see that well enough, but where the wrist bends, my toes go right in that wrist bend. Then I place the other, and I reach the thumbs towards each other. Then I lengthen the trunk forward, legs strong and firm. Go forward with the trunk, the front of the trunk. And then exhale, bend the elbows out to the side. You have to really press on the inner edge of your foot and bend those elbows out to the side. Take the thighs back further than the calves. In fact, if you tend to hyperextend, like I did in my early days of yoga, I have to work much stronger on that outer shin. That outer shin has to come in. Pull with your arms. Come on, Mike. Pull. Yes, pull. Now don't pull your head. Pull your upper abdomen. Upper abdomen, lower abdomen. There you go. Padahastasana. The extra padding just makes it a little bit more gentler on the bones of the hands. Okay, inhale, come up to the concave, get maximum extension. So your fingers are still bound, your hands are still underneath. Maximum extension, shoulders back, chest forward, like you're trying to pull your chest through those arms. Okay, then release the hands, legs strong, press the feet, inhale and stand up. All right, now you're gonna do Adho Mukha Svanasana with the intention of doing Ekapada, one leg going up, so you need root space behind you, so don't be close to the wall. So I'm going to be away from the wall. I'm going to stay in this same direction. So I can come to my knees and get some weight into those palms, turn the upper arms, and go up into my Adho Mukha Svanasana. Push your fingers forward and press mightily the heel of the hand downward, almost like the fingers are going in a different direction than the heel of the hand. The heel of the hand comes back a little bit towards you, whereas the fingers keep pressing forward. Same thing kind of goes with the upper arm and the lower arm. The upper arm kind of sucks more into the shoulder socket, and the lower arm kind of reaches from elbow to wrist. Okay, now I don't want to wear you out. Don't change anything here with your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now slowly begin to lift the right leg. Ekapada, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So out of your hip, reach that right leg back. Straighten the leg, straighten the leg. You can point the toes, flex the foot, whatever feels like gives you more length. But I'd like to see one straight line. Come on, Kathy, one straight line. Lift that thigh, lift that thigh. Yeah. And then exhale back down to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, keep reaching your fingers forward, pressing the heel of your hand back. Dorsal, keep your mind on your dorsal spine, your shoulder blades moving in and up your back. All right, now you're lifting the left leg. Reach the left leg back. Don't change anything else. Out of your hip. Imagine you could stretch your legs so much out of your hip. The hip tends to fall, excuse me, forward. Don't let it. Straighten that leg, Mike. Straighten it. Reach the inner leg more. Inner leg. Inner of the lifted leg. Reach, reach, reach. Bring the front of the thigh closer to the bone, right? But it has to be reached out of your hip. Okay, and now relax and come down. And then just come closer to your screen. And let me just see if I can show you what I'm seeing. I might do this one. Okay, this is me just reaching with my leg. This is me reaching with my hip. See the difference? Leg, hip. Okay, I'd like for you to try it again. Take your hip with you. The spine, so the hip is in the region of the lower spine. It has to help you. We get a lot of help from our arms and legs from the spine, and then vice versa. So now the spine is helping our leg to lift. All right, so take your Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can bring the feet together. It might help you. If you want to bring the feet together in Adho Mukha Svanasana. You look a little short. It's okay to take a little bit shorter of a stance, but no, don't shorten your stance so much, Mike. Yeah, that's better. Are you rotating the inner upper arms? Move the dorsal in, and now take the right leg back with its hip. Reach the hip up and back too. Ah, everybody got higher. Yeah, straighten the legs as much as possible. And of course, the tendency will be to want to bend that up leg and roll the back of the lifted leg from inside out. So the back leg, the lifted leg, faces the floor. All right, and then exhale, release. And second side. Get ready, do a really nice Adho Mukha Svanasana. Don't force your head, Mike. Move your shoulders more than your head. And now reach your left leg up and back. Somebody is pulling from your hip blade, from your pelvis. Somebody is pulling that left leg back. Reach it back, reach it up, reach it up. One straight line, yeah. One line of energy. All right, and then release and come back down into Adho Mukha Virasana. Have a rest. I guess one of the things that teachers have been working on lately is this idea of using the right resources so you don't get worn out. And that hip thing, it just made this pose just so much easier for me, as opposed to just lifting with the leg. Okay, now, so those of you who do Shirshasana can do your Shirshasana now. If you do not do Shirshasana, you could do Prasarita Padottanasana. You can use the wall, whatever works for you. You can do Shirshasana at the wall, Shirshasana in the middle of the room. And then if anybody, well, Chaya's not here today, but she would be doing Headstand Prep. Anybody want to do that? I'm happy to show that. Shane, I can't see you. Okay, so right now, Mike, move your shoulders away from the wall. Shoulder blades in, away from the wall. Lift up, lift the shoulders up. Keep the shoulders away from the wall. Do not let the shoulder blades touch the wall. And then kick up. Reach up out of your hip. if you're going up. Kathy, you okay? Okay. And Marcia, you're just making sure that your neck is really relaxed. Use your legs. Use your legs. Now, Mike, don't stay like that. If you're not going to come up, that's too much. You have a foam brick too, Mike, right? Next time you do it, you might take that foam brick. Can you see me, Mike? You might take that foam brick. So your hands are going to be this distance away from the wall. You see that? That's what I want you to do. Your shoulders just totally collapse towards the wall. And I know you're strong, so I know it's not that. See if you can make that work. All right, I'll give you guys about 2 more minutes here. Yeah, and Kathy, if you're tired, you could put your back against the wall. It's almost more restful that way. Yeah, you look nice and steady, Marcia. Yeah, what do you think of that, Mike? Yeah, it's helpful. If you can get it right, kind of between, you could even, yeah, it's fine that way. Yeah, between the shoulder blades. Now, what would it take for you to kick up? See, your shoulders can't move closer to the block. They have to stay right where they're at. Okay, you got 1 more minute. Those of you who are in Shirshasana or Prasarita Padottanasana, just let the trunk go down. Don't hold the trunk up if you're in Prasarita. About 20 more seconds there. Yeah. Keep walking up, Mike. Walk up another inch. Yeah. Now lift, come up just on your tippy toes. Yeah. And lift your hips. Lift. Yes. Nice. All right. Get a chair, everybody. Come down in control. We're going to do 1 chair Viparita Dandasana, and you might say, gosh, Sheryl, this is a forward extensions class. Why are you doing a back bend over the chair? I'm doing it mostly for awareness across your shoulder blades. And you are going to be doing all these seated forward bends for the most of the rest of the class. So I want you to have some awareness that that area has to move in. Okay, so you're going to do just over to the middle of your shoulder blades. Very, very specific to the middle of your shoulder blades. And I'm fine with the legs staying, the knees staying bent. You do not have to straighten the legs. So you're going through your chair. Might just try a nice chair. We call this chair Tadasana, where right now I'm bringing some awareness into my shoulder blades. I'm lifting the front of the trunk up, maximum extension on the front of the trunk, shoulders back. So I basically am doing this over this chair's edge, and the shoulder blades are only going to come to their mid-center. This part of the chair, the edge of the chair is only going to come to the center of the shoulder blades. So come forward, and it depends on how long you are as to how much you have to take off this region off the chair. So right now I'm in neck curvature, what's known as neck curvature. And it feels pretty nice. I can work my hamstrings and buttocks a little bit. Yeah, I could press into the floor and lift those muscles up to their bones. So now I keep that. And what's nice is the sticky mat kind of grabs the skin on the back body, lengthens it towards the buttocks. And I just start pushing just a little bit. So my hands are here on top of the chair. I'm still a lot in neck curvature. And now I'm starting to go to the top of the shoulder blades. Little by little, I keep that curve. I'm almost there. I'm at the middle of the shoulder blades, and that's where I want to stay. So the hands can either stay here, pushing, or I really don't want you to reach through because you'll lose this middle of the shoulder blade. So here, or if you can keep that, then the arms go overhead. So you're bending, you're forcing those shoulder blades to fold over that chair's edge. Move the bottom of the armpit. If you can imagine this, you're upside down, right? But the bottom of your armpit has to move towards your floating ribs. And you're curving at the chest more, at that middle shoulder blade area. If you like to, you are welcome to straighten those legs and take those arms overhead. As you can see, I'm not very far off the chair. Press the thighs down, roll the fronts of the thighs in, so the backs of the thighs, the groin spreads. And arms overhead. I'm going to come up and have a look. I want to see how you're doing. Good. Now you shouldn't feel like you have to hold your head up. Right? The head should just curve over quite nicely. Yeah, nice. See if you can bring your mind's awareness to the back body. The back body moving in so that the front of the body is fully open. Okay, we'll do just about 45 more seconds here. Yeah, you can change your arm position if that arm's over there. You can hold your elbows. You can put the hands back on the chair bar. Keep your awareness on those shoulder blades. The apex of your pose should be, that bottom part of your chest. The hips will be lower in this version. All right. Come out carefully. Bring your hands back to the chair bar. You could scoot a little bit where your buttocks comes more onto the chair seat, and then head back and lift yourself up. Oh, yeah, stay in your chair, sorry. Just stay in your chair for a chair bar Uttanasana. So put your heels on the inside of the back chair legs and turn to your right. Press into that right outer heel to keep the right leg from moving, and turn from your waist. The front elbow can bend, the back elbow probably shouldn't. I'm holding onto that sticky mat and pulling down. And then I look at my chest and I want to see that both sides of my chest are even. Then come back to center. Chair Dandasana. Tadasana. And then turn to your left. Turn your waist and lift up both sides of the chest, sternal notch, up, up. You're really holding on to that front chair bar and pulling yourself on around. Create space across the sacrum, low back. And then release now, come out of your chair. And put your chair away. Sit in Upavishta Konasana. If you need to sit on height, you certainly may. Have a strap and extra blankets nearby so you don't have to get up. So from Dandasana, I'm gonna rock to one side and move that buttock bone flesh both out to the side and back. Do it on the other side, out to the side and back, and press the legs down. Okay, so if I purposely, I want to remember at the beginning of class, I said, you could use your hands to bring intelligence to the hamstrings and move the hamstring back towards the buttock flesh. You can do that. And then that bifurcation means that the calf has to extend toward the Achilles. So you're doing that. Now, if I start working the legs and working the hips, I want to make it so like I'm trying to pull my sticky mat, pull my legs against the sticky mat. I move a little bit, you can see, I'm moving a little bit, but my legs are firm. I'm it's like I want to stretch the sticky mat out to the sides. So here's me not doing it. Here's me doing it. So my legs are active. Okay, so now I want you to take that into Upavishta Konasana. So don't go to your widest Upavishta Konasana. This is probably mainly just for Kathy, the other Kathy, back knee. Yeah, so don't, on purpose, I'm not going to my widest Upavishta. So now, with the hands back, you can have the hands turned out, turned all the way to the back. Do the same thing. It's like I'm hitting out, excuse me, I'm hitting out with my legs. And this hip juncture is active. This outer femur skin muscles are pulling back into the hip socket. And I'm actually deepening that area that when I was standing up before we did the standing forward bend, forward extensions, where that indentation is. I'm making that indentation go in more. So here's me not doing it. Here's me doing it. Does everybody understand? Not doing it, doing it. It's like I'm trying to spread my sticky mat out to the sides more. Spread, spread. Okay, turn to your right, go the opposite way. So the side you're turning away from has to work doubly as hard to keep that outer thigh pulled back into the socket. Okay, and then come back to the left. Pull that out, right thigh back towards the socket. Keep the legs active. Turning that pelvic band. You're turning that left pelvic bone toward the navel, left pelvic bone back towards the hip. Okay. All right, now bring your, let's see, we'll have you guys do your right leg first. So you bring your left leg like you're gonna do Dandasana. And then you take the right leg for Janu Shirshasana. So I'm turning the thigh out. I'm really helping intelligize the skin by using that whole hand. Then I reach underneath and bring the same ankle to its same groin. Okay, you can sit up on height if you're terribly uneven. You have your strap. Okay, now remember everything I said about how much the front of the trunk has to extend? So same thing goes here. So you at least have a right angle between this hip, this area here, it's at least a right angle. If you're flexible, you can go back more with that knee. Okay, turn the trunk back to your straight leg. Bring the right hand outside the left leg, the left hand back behind you, and turn that right side of the pelvis. Turn the right side of the navel. So you're trying, you can see on me, I'm trying to make that bent knee side of my chest face this leg evenly. Okay, now my arms go up, and I try to keep that full extension of the front of the trunk. I reach up, and now I catch hold. If I can't catch the toes, I catch the shin, or I have my strap. Okay, now watch, shoulders down, front of the trunk lifts up. Do Urdhva Mukha, upward facing, look up, and pull on that foot. Still extend from the groin of the straight leg towards its inner foot. Look up. Yeah, this is all we're doing for this first go around. And then inhale and come back up. So if you get the first part right, it will be an easy pose. Okay, and then this leg goes back out for Upavishta. This leg goes back out for Upavishta. Repeat Upavishta and move the sticky mat out to the side. Okay, then bring your right leg for Dandasana. Left leg turns out. I'm reaching at the back of the knee underneath the calf and turning that whole shin, turning the ankle. Okay, and then you be the judge how far back this knee can go. This is my stiffer side. Doesn't like to go back as far as I'd like it to go. Okay, now just turn. So opposite hand on the straight leg. And just turn. Keep reaching that outer knee, the bent outer knee down. Keep extending the straight leg from groin to big toe. Turn, turn. Then reach the arms up. And exhale, take a hold of your toes, your strap, and lift the front of the trunk up. Look up, shoulders down. It's a little like that Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, where you're pulling your chest through the arms. Look up. I'm asking you to do more of a little bit of an active pose here. So you're really pushing through the foot, arms pulling to help you lift up. Don't let the straight leg come up. Has to press down. Okay, inhale, come up. And release. Back to Upavishta. Now we'll complete the pose. Do what you can. Bring the left leg out in front of you. Turn the right leg out. reach under. Compact your hips. Inhale, reach up. Oh, turn that whole right side of the trunk towards that straight leg. So after you know, okay, I've got maximum extension, then I bend my elbows and the head comes down. If, however, I'll show from the side, if, however, I don't have maximum extension, I'm like this already. Well, then, you know, I'm going to use my strap and I'm not going to do this pose. Okay, there's no maximum extension of the front body. So it just means you're not ready yet. So you stay here and you work on maximum lift and extension of the front body. I probably did that Urdhva Mukha version of Janu Shirshasana for 2 years. Yeah. If you need a place to rest your head, you can use the blanket or something, but if you're close, the head should rest. Okay. Inhale and come up. Let's see, you guys did. Yeah. All right, so now bring the left leg out like Dandasana. Turn your, right leg out like Dandasana. Turn your left leg out to complete the full Janu Shirshasana. And it's head of the knee pose. You know what that means? It means the head of the knee, which is right here, never comes off the floor. It's not getting your head to your knee. Inhale, reach up, turn, hold. Keep pressing that head of the knee, the top of the knee down. Maximum extension of the front trunk, front of the trunk. Lift, lift, lift. And then exhale, bend the elbows. There's lots of different grips for this pose. You could, if it's easy, an easy pose for you, you can hold the wrists. Yeah. Really pull with your arms and see if you can, you know, get the trunk to extend more. Get the brain to a quiet place. All right, inhale and come up. All right, now I'm going to take a little bit of height for Triangamukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to take a 3-folded blanket. Let's see. You'll have, sit up on that, you'll have your, well, I'll just do the same side so you guys can see. You'll have your, you'll take your right leg back for Janu Shirshasana, for Virasana. And you have enough height underneath the left buttock so that your buttocks are level. You may not need any height underneath your right buttock. You may just need a little bit of height underneath your left. And be comfortable here. Because we're going to do, actually we're going to do Triangamukha, Krantasana, Triangamukha, Krantasana. Okay, now, the head of the top of the knee now, that outer knee should stay down. Don't let the Virasana knee roll in. Keep it pressing down. Keep that whole shin down. Keep the top of the ankle and the toes extended back. All right, now reach the arms up. And now don't feel like you're going to collapse towards the straight leg side, but fold evenly over both sides of the pelvis and take a hold of your foot. Maximum extension on the front of the body in the Urdhva Mukha version. So lengthen the trunk upwards. Okay, so this is, we'll just complete the pose here. So I've got maximum extension. The front of the trunk from my pubic plate is pulling up, up, up. Then I bend the elbows out to the side and take the head down so that the left side of my face, my cheek, is on the inside of the left shin. Pull with the arms. Make that back body nice and broad. It should be like it drapes, like a nice towel or, I don't know, piece of silk drapes over your back body, and it's just flowing. Okay, inhale, come up to the concave. Inhale, come up. Okay, now bend up your left foot, knee. Bring it right up to your blanket. Your Virasana leg stays. Mike, your Virasana leg stays. Your straight leg comes up all the way to the blanket. Now just pick up your toes and put all your fingers underneath the ball and the toes of your foot. I've got them like this. Okay, now awareness right here in the thoracic. The thoracic has to move in. The front of the trunk has to extend upwards. Okay, and now can you see where your knee is? Don't let your knee move away from you. Just take that shin bone straight up, heel straight up in the air. Now feel that back body across the dorsal spine. Move it in, bend the elbows, and then bring the head in closer. Back awareness in that back body. How are we doing? All right, release. Release that straight leg. Unrelease your Virasana leg. Move your blanket over. And take Virasana with your left shin. Sit up straight and tall. Spread the back of that straight leg thigh. Pull the hamstring back towards the buttock. Outer knee of the Virasana leg stays down. Just sit like as if you were in Dandasana. Right, here I am. I just happen to have one leg bent under. Press the straight leg down. Okay, now inhale. Reach the arms up. Fold quite evenly over across both sides of the pelvis. Take a hold of your foot. Shoulders down. Pull strongly with your arms to lift the front of the trunk up. Then bend the elbows. Keep pulling yourself forward. Head down. Can you find some equanimity in this pose? Don't list towards the straight leg. Okay, you know what's coming, so have a rest here for your brain. Okay, inhale and come up, concave, Urdhva Uttanasana. And release. Okay, now keep that outer knee of the Virasana leg down, bend up the right leg, bring it in close like you would from Vrichyasana. Reach underneath the toes, the ball of the foot, so the heel's down, but the toes are lifted, and I'm already, reaching from the pubic plate, I'm reaching the front of the trunk, up that thigh. But I also, besides that, I have to have a strong sense of awareness in the back body, that the back body doesn't do this. Right? It has to move in, the thoracic, dorsal have to move in. And I see where that knee is, and I don't let that knee move. I keep it right there, and I just take that chin up. Inhale, lift up, exhale. Bring the trunk towards the leg towards the trunk. You can sit up on as much height as you need, Mike. You could sit up on more height as you need. Because right here in this portion of the pose, your back should not be rounded. Yes. So maybe you just work on that part. Yeah, Marissa, why is the leg so far back? Is it with the... Don't let the trunk go back so much. Yeah, maybe you just work on that part of the pose, Mike. That's fine. But what I'm saying is maybe, if you had more height, let's say this is double the height that I needed, I might just have you work on this part. And then here's another trick. You guys can release. Let's say it's really a difficult pose for you. You have tight hamstrings. You could put the block there. I'd have to have one more blanket here. So that the blanket is just a little bit higher than the brick. Oh, now there, I bet you could get your dorsal in. Can you see, Mike? So when you repeat this class later, do this. Now, here's the trick. So Marissa, she went way back. So don't let that happen. Stay, mostly upright. And then that leg just goes up. This hamstring has to drive towards its source in order for it to be healthy. It has to stay with its source. We use up our resources when things go in the wrong direction. Absolutely true. True with life, true with yoga, true with a lot of things. Okay. Vrichyasana 1. So I'm going back. Actually, I'm not going to use any height for Vrichyasana 1, but you guys stay with your height if you'd like. You'll be bending your, I'm gonna go on the diagonal. So you're bending the right leg, left leg up first. And you can see I'm just cradling it and look at my back. So you have to find the props that you need in order to sit up as straight as you can. Okay, now we'll just be turning to the inside of that left leg. We're going to take this as a forward bend, but in order to get a little bit more extension on the front of the trunk, we're going to turn to the inside. So I reach up, same arm as bent knee, and I turn on the inside. Trying not to let that buttock come up. So I'm just turning and lifting. I certainly feel it in the dorsal. Active forward extensions, these are. You might consider, if I did a restorative week, I might do, real calming forward extensions. This is kind of an active forward extension class. All right, and then release. Let's just do the other side, then we'll complete the pose. So from Dandasana, active legs, active hips. So I'm kind of pushing the sticky mat out away from me. Then I bring the right leg in. I move that hamstring down to its source, towards the buttock bone. I sit up nice and tall. Please use as much height as you need so that that dorsal doesn't take the brunt. Move the shoulder blades in, shoulders down, trapezium down, and just lift up that pelvis, rib cage, chest. Okay, then you're reaching up with the same hand and turning. Turn to the inside of the leg. Yeah, and the other option is to keep holding onto it and just turn. So this is certainly acceptable. The emphasis is on the front of the trunk lifting and the dorsal spine moving in. All right, release. I'm going to be facing you this time. So your left leg comes in. For today's purposes, let your left foot turn out a little bit. Can you see that? Now, I have some room to go. So I'm going to let that left foot turn out. Reach the arm up. Take a hold of the foot. And turn that left side of the trunk. Then I say, okay, that served its purpose. Then I'm going to bring the foot back. In fact, I'm going to tuck the toes a little bit in and go forward, head down. As much as possible, of course. Yeah, with the foot turned out, it gives you a little bit more space to go forward. Yeah, good, Mike. Okay, now see if you can move the toes back in a little. They don't have to go in the whole way. I've often said about forward extensions, they really are challenging, but more so challenging for your mind and your patience more than anything. It's not so much physical work. All right, now try to bring that knee up a little bit, Mike, and you've got a good pose. Yeah, pull forward, use your arms, pull. Okay, inhale and come up. The forgotten forward extension, Marichiasana, 1. From Dandasana, active legs. I'm kind of pulling my sticky mat apart there on the floor there. Dandasana, active. And then bring the right leg up. Let the toes turn out. Reach up. Hook. Turn. Turn. Then if that helped you, fine, bring them back. Pull the trunk forward. Keep that knee in close. And head down. This is a really good groin pose. Relax your groins. Challenging, huh? Oh, shoot. All right. And then inhale and come up. You've got both of those legs out here to the front. Do Baddha Konasana now. So bring both knees out to the side, bring your feet in close. Keep your hands on your sticky mat behind you. Move your pelvis forward. Press the feet in toward each other. You can have the hands, you need to come a little bit forward. Hands turned out. So from the bottom of the pubic plate, you are absolutely extending the trunk up and up and up and up and up and over and over. So it looks something like this. Keep pressing the feet. I lift up. The more you press the feet into each other, the more the legs will go down. If I show you from the side, let's see. Come in, out. Yeah, good. All right, Uttanasana. Sit up on height as you need to sit up on height. Rock from side to side and roll those front thighs in, spread the backs of the thighs out, pull that hamstring back to the buttock flesh. Inhale, reach the arms up. Please have something for your head if your head doesn't rest on your shins. So the front of the trunk is lifting up, extending fully. So the back body can move in, the sides of the body can expand nicely. I'm going to hold my wrist and head down. So once you're in your maximum pose, just stay and feel the pose, feel the effects of the pose. Calming to the mind, calming to the central nervous system. Yeah, please have the legs apart, Marissa. You can go wider if you need to. Where's your bolster, Kathy Beckman? You can have your bolster for your head. Yeah, nice, Marsha. Mike. So from your buttock flesh, the back body is going towards your head. Imagine that. If you've never had a really good an adjustment in Uttanasana, let me know when we're back in the studio and I'll give you one. But someone stands, straddles you, right? And they are facing the opposite direction you are. So, and they bring their shins, calves, alongside the sides of your hips. They take their hands on their buttock flesh and they pull all that skin up toward the waist, toward the back, and then everything goes forward. It's a wonderful adjustment. Imagine if you could do that yourself, and you can. All right, guys. Slowly inhale and come up. All right, so I plan to do chair Salamba Sarvangasana because it was kind of a more gentle forward extensions class, but I'm fine with whatever you'd like to do. I've already done my shoulder stand for the day, but I'm happy to show. If you want to do regular shoulder stand, that's fine too, or chair shoulder stand, that's fine. What I like about chair shoulder stand after, and I can show you, after the forward bends, is that it really does an extremely nice job of extend, this area might feel somewhat closed, and it really does a nice job of extending that area. Actually, I'm going to just change this and use my bolster. That. I always like to put another mat here. So it's that little bit of a Setu Bandha action that lets the whole front of the body get more open. So I Scoot forward, hold, curve. There I am. Reach the arms through. And then here, I'm still, really using my legs, extending the trunk over so this whole area gets nicely open. And it's a little bit different in that you're still getting that Jalandhara Bandha for the metabolism effect. And then if you want to do the Viparita Karani version, it's that. Legs right out over the hips. But this one feels really nice. Keep the outer shoulders pressing down. The shoulder blades moving into your back, the tailbone moving in. Nice. Still think maximum length on that front body and still hamstring to buttock flesh. And you sort of bifurcate that leg so the calf moves towards the heels. Think evenness of the two legs, even extension. Straighten at the top of the knees a little bit more, Marcia. Top of the knees, yeah. Pull those outer shoulder bones down, dorsal spine in, tailbone in, thighs back. All right, to come down, move your feet to the chair, top of the chair bar, and then the hands to the chair seat. Hold the chair down with your hands and then move the feet to the chair seat. And then once your feet are on the chair seat, you can push the chair a little bit away from you until, and move your trunk away from the chair until the buttocks come onto your bolster or blanket setup that you have. And let your calves just rest on the chair there for a few breaths. Okay, then you can scoot the bolster away from your buttocks and let the buttocks be flat. If you are comfy with your calves up on the chair, you can do that, or you can lie flat for Shavasana. That is your choice. And once you are in your position that you've chosen for your Shavasana, let yourself spread into the floor and feel the space, particularly in the abdominal region and the torso. And because of that space there in the abdominal region, you might feel the back body just spread more into the floor. You can begin your Shavasana with a few deeper, longer exhalations. Exhaling into the abdomen, feeling that area spread. Absolutely no tension anywhere. Let go. Release. And relax. Also relax your face, your throat, your mouth cavity, your eyes, your ears. Feel the circulation, your expansiveness that you created through your practice. And feel your consciousness, because of that practice, spreading everywhere. Hopefully, and hoping that it would make you more aware of that inner consciousness. See that it spreads everywhere. Keep your brain quiet. Just observing. Just be the watcher of that consciousness. Feel your own existence within. As Gita liked to say, our bodies exist mainly in the past, our minds exist mainly in the future, and we come together in the present. They come together in the present. Feel that sense of just being in the present. Very slowly and gently begin to fold your limbs in one at a time. No hurry. Slowly and gently. Bend your knees in and roll over to your right side. Keep your face quiet, your eyes relaxed, with no desire to see anything or do anything in particular as you open your eyes. Just still be. And then prop the left hand onto the floor and push up slowly and gently. And then come to a seated place. Hold your palms at your heart. Take a moment to observe the state of your mind. In gratitude for this practice, this community, and all the teachers who've come before us. Namaste.